Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I'll be breaking down the cheapest way to exchange currency for Canadians. If you're looking to exchange Canadian dollars to US or US to Canadian dollars, there are two ways. One is fast but expensive, the other is cheap but very slow. I actually filmed this video 9 months ago, but another Canadian YouTuber released it the exact same week or a week before I did, so I scrapped it. We were saying the exact same thing, so here I am, 9 months too late, but what can we do? A little side note before we get started, I noticed only 20% of my views come from subscribers. So for the remaining 80%, if you could subscribe, it would really help. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a video every time I release one, usually once a week. I mentioned there are two ways to buy or convert to US stocks. One is directly asking your brokerage or bank to convert the currency for you. If you're with Wealthsimple, they'll charge you a 1.5% fee to exchange currency and buy US dollars, which is painful. If you're with questrade, there's a 2% conversion fee. When I was with TD Bank 5 or 6 years ago, the fee was 3.5%. This is the expensive but fast way, usually within the same day if you request to exchange funds in the morning. We won't be focusing on this in this video, but I did film a video last year where I show you how to exchange currency on questrade. This video will be focusing on method 2, which is the slow but cheap way. It's called Norberts Gambit, if you're wondering, obviously named after the person who first did it or first brought it to the public's attention. It takes around 4 days to complete the whole conversion, usually costing $10 or $20, which are just the fees that your broker would charge you to buy or sell. The fastest I was able to get it done is 3 days, but I do think four days is standard. It might seem confusing for beginners, but if you just follow the steps, it is pretty simple. What this does is finding a Canadian stock or ETF that's listed on both the Canadian and US exchanges. You buy the Canadian stock and then you can request to convert them to the US stock for free. So you'll buy the Canadian one and you can request to exchange it for the US one. The term to convert is called journaling. If you buy a dual listed Canadian stock in Canadian dollars, you can request to journal the shares to the US exchange and it will automatically convert the shares to US dollars for you. Since you then have a US dollar stock, you can sell them and get US dollars in exchange, completing the whole process, completing Norbert's Gambit. The only fees you'll be charged are the fees of buying and selling from your broker. Let me break this down with how I did it on questrade. Keep in mind, as of March 2021, Wealthsimple does not have a US dollar account. You're not allowed to do Norbert's Gambit because you can only have a Canadian dollar account. If you want to buy a US stock, you're forced to pay their 1.5% fee. I know TD and RBC and CIBC, their trading platforms, allow you to do this, just not Wealthsimple yet. Let's go through all the steps from the beginning. If you want to convert Canadian dollars to US dollars, you'll buy an ETF called DLR.TO. This ETF just tracks the US dollar. You'll then ask questrade via email to journal all your shares from DLR.TO to DLR.U.TO. This will take 3 to 4 days to complete the conversion. You'll wake up in 3 to 4 days and your DLR.TO shares will have disappeared and they will have been replaced with the exact same number of shares in DLR.U.TO. Keep in mind, these new shares are in US dollars, but you don't want the shares, you want the US dollars. So then you'll have to sell all your DLR.U.TO and then you'll have the desired amount of US dollars that you need. These ETFs, DLR and DLR.U, were specifically made for this reason, just to take advantage of the currency exchange. Take a look at the fact sheet. They're specifically pointing out this exact process. You can buy in CAD and exchange for USD, or buy in USD and exchange for CAD. Let's verify that this process works. Taking a look at the price of DLR.TO, it's $12.80. Taking a look at the price of DLR.U, it's $10.09. When we plug $12.80 into the currency exchange, it equals $12.10, almost bang on. Let's take a look at a real life example that I did from last year. Notice my US dollar account is negative $6,246. I need to convert Canadian dollars to US dollars. So I bought 623 shares of DLR.TO. I then messaged the staff at questrade asking to journal the shares. 4 days later, I had 623 shares of DLR.U.TO. That same day, I sold the 623 shares and it covered my negative balance. I hope that made sense. You actually don't need to chat with the staff. I found waiting in line for their chat was around 2 hours, but you can email them. I found the best way is to email them. Check out this email and word it exactly like this. My account number is X. I bought 1,000 shares of DLR.to. Can you please journal all of it to DLR.u.to? That same day, I got a confirmation email. This whole process cost me around $10, which is much cheaper than the questrade's 2% conversion fee. Keep in mind, to buy ETFs on questrade is sometimes free, sometimes there's a small ECN fee, but selling comes at a cost, hence the $10 or $11 I had to pay. If you think about this most recent example, I had to convert 8,765 Canadian dollars to 6,300 US dollars. That 2% conversion fee would have been around $175, but using Norberts Gambit, using this process, it only cost me around $10. Those trades were all last year, but let me do an example using today's prices. If you want 20,000 US dollars, you'll need to use 25,336 Canadian dollars. You'll buy 1,980 shares of DLR.to. You'll send them an email to journal all 1,980 shares to DLR.u.to. 3 or 4 days later, you'll have 1,980 shares of DLR.u.to. They'll be worth $20,000. You'll sell them and you'll have your 20K USD. I hope this all made sense. It might be confusing for beginners, but if you follow these exact steps, it actually does work. It actually is pretty convenient. This won't work if you need the funds same day or next day. This only works if you have 3 or 4 days to wait. Anything less than $5,000, I would just eat the 2% fee, just maybe due to laziness. But anything more than $5,000, I actually would plan ahead and I'd use Norberts Gambit just to convert and save on the insane 2% fee. If you already own a dual listed stock like RBC, Enbridge, TD Bank, or even Shopify, you can ask them to journal it for you. You don't have to buy DLR and convert them to DLR.u. Those tickers I just mentioned are already dual listed, but keep in mind you'll have to sell them to get the US dollars. So only do this on shares you already own if you don't want the stock. To get the US dollars, you'll have to sell the stock. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. For questrade, I found it much easier and quicker to email versus going through their chat, but both work. Another item to note, questrade is coming out with like an online automated request to journal your shares. They are planning on charging you $10 to do this. I don't really understand the $10 charge since we won't be directly contacting any staff or waiting in line. To me, it should be free, but if they're charging $10 and it's more convenient and quicker, I'm all for it just for the convenience. So thanks for watching and tune in to the next one.